Environmental groups are calling for the governor to veto a bill that they worry will limit environmental protection in Florida. WMNF's Chris Young reports that one group calls the bill the death knell of growth management.
The bill would allow the party that wins to recover attorney fees and challenges to comprehensive plans and plan amendments. 1,000 Friends of Florida and the Everglades Coalition sent a letter to the governor demanding a veto. Jane West, Policy and Planning Director for 1,000 Friends of Florida, expressed concern about the bill during a press conference on Wednesday.
I have characterized this bill as the death knell to growth management in Florida, and it definitely is.
The group worries that this will make legal challenges prohibitively expensive.
We worked very, very hard this legislative session to try and soften the blow of this bill because, as you can imagine, the chilling effect is going to lead to people simply not engaging in these challenges, leaving the state of Florida with a situation of sprawl that will be unprecedented.
The group worked with Democratic Senator Tina Polsky and St. Petersburg Representative Lindsey Cross on an amendment to limit attorney fees, but it was rejected. During the legislative session, the bill's sponsor, Republican Senator Nick DeSigli, acknowledged that the bill discourages challenges.
And so my view, the best way to deal with local governments and comprehensive plans that you don't like is usually at the ballot box.
The bill has been sent to the governor's desk to be signed into law. For WMNF News, I'm Chris Young in Tampa.
About 3/4 of this year's graduating seniors at New College of Florida held an alternative graduation for students at the Sarasota Art Museum last night. They invited lawyer, professor, and civil rights activist Maya Wiley to speak. Wiley said that while we live in a country that believes in democracy, there is also a rise in hate crimes against Jewish, Black, and LGBTQ communities, which may be exacerbated by a new Florida law to ban diversity, equity, and inclusion in state-funded schools.
And we know that the difference between being indoctrinated with hate or filled with love for a community and the ability to be in community across difference is a good quality education. And these laws get in the way of the ability to create the beloved community, which is what Dr. Martin Luther King called for. And you can't do that. Democracy dies with lies, but it lives in the light of education.
Graduating history student Lisa Hyde says that hope lives on through alumni.
Students are still going to push back no matter what, but I think there's also a lot of people that are feeling dejected because there's just not a lot you can do when you have trustees that refuse tenure to professors that are completely qualified, or, fire a librarian who's given 5 years to New College. That leaves a lot of people feeling dejected, but I think something like this and what they were saying about how we're now graduated and now alums, I think there's a lot of hope that there's a sense of community there.
More than 2,600 New College alumni and supporters donated for the alternative graduation. $70,000 is left over for Student Activities Fund to be controlled by students so they can have a firewall of influence against the college in an attempt to maintain the culture they have grown to love over the years. The official commencement ceremony is tonight in Sarasota. And it's official, Kenneth Jessel was formally sworn in as the 6th president of Florida International University yesterday. The career academic took his oath at a time when advocates say higher education in the state is under attack. Kate Payne reports.
Kenneth A. Jessel, the 6th president of Florida International University.
Jessel says he knows how transformative higher education can be.
I was a first-generation student, the first in my family to attend college, just like many of our students.
Surrounded by state officials and local leaders, Jessel pledged to promote honesty, integrity, and truth.
Advance the university's commitment to freedom of thought and expression.
Promote excellence in teaching and research.
Earlier this week, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a new law banning diversity programs and restricting what can be taught on campus. Later, Jessel told reporters,
"You heard it in my oath. I promise to respect the dignity of every individual that we have, and that will never change."
Still, advocates are warning the new laws could drive faculty and students away from Florida. I'm Kate Payne in Miami.
Even as commuting to the office and going to school plunged at the height of the COVID-19 lockdowns, outdoor recreation and cycling in particular surged in country after country as people look to escape isolation in a relatively safe way. In response, cities worldwide have developed bikeways with new urgency since 2020. The question is whether people stick with their cycling habit in these closer to normal times. Today is Bike to Work Day in the United States, and the automatic counters that record each passing cyclist in many cities will get the latest numbers. But what's clear from a Rutgers Virginia Tech study of cycling in various North American and European cities is that many new bikeways were built during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, and these efforts were rewarded with increased cycling in places that undertook robust development. Andy Rourke, bass guitarist of The Smiths, one of the most influential British bands of the 1980s, has died after a lengthy illness with pancreatic cancer, his former bandmate Johnny Marr said today. He was 59. In a lengthy post on Instagram, guitarist and songwriter Marr paid tribute to Rourke, who he met while they were both schoolboys in 1975. During their short time together as a four-piece band between 1982 and 1987, the Smiths deliberately stayed away from the mainstream of popular music, garnering a cult following on the independent music scene.
Produced at the studios of WMNF Tampa by Colleen Cole.
And this is Novia Levy.